Okay, we're on to step 7, subclassing modal app and mode. So let's take a look at what we're trying to do, and then we'll go ahead and see how we did it. So we'll copy that code, we'll go here, we'll run this, and here's a game. Well, at least here's an app. This demo's a modal app. This is a modal splash screen. So a splash screen is a screen that you show to the user while your app is loading, basically. It is actually its own app. It's a very boring app. It just draws this and waits you to press any key before essentially running another app. Here we go. This is the game, and this is another app. It's a pretty exciting game. I can try to click in these dots, and if I manage to click in them, I get points, and if I miss them, see, I lose points. I can't get negative points, though. I don't know if it's the best game ever, but it's a game. This is the game. Now it says press H for the help screen. And when I press H, this is the help screen. Like the splash screen, it's its own app. This is its own app, the way we've implemented it here. So what's going on is we have 3 different apps here. Press any key, and I'm back to the game, which was waiting dutifully. Watch, to prove it was waiting. See this red ball? It's going to be halfway through, and I hit H for help. And when I press return, or any key to return, I should be in the middle of the screen with the red ball going downward. I think I had 6 points. There it is. Yep. Cool. Okay. So what is going on? Let's take a look. Okay. So to begin with, we have our splash screen, which looks suspiciously like an app. It has a redraw all, where it draws this is all that stuff, and it has a key pressed. Okay, so there are a couple differences. Instead of being an app, it's a mode, but a mode is a subclass of an app. A mode is simply a special kind of app. Anything an app can do, a mode can do, because a mode is a kind of app. So the splash screen mode is the splash screen app. And then these take mode as a parameter. But as we've seen before, I mean, first, this could take app as a parameter. It's totally fine, because a mode is an app. Okay, so if I did, if I learned how to type, if I did that, and I did that, and I did that, okay, that's a little weird app.app, but nonetheless, this is going to work. Press any key, okay, and mode is not defined in line 13 of key pressed, because I forgot to do that. Okay. All right, so now instead of app, which is especially weird with app.app, and I agree that's weird, okay, let's go back to mode for a minute. I'll show you a couple other things. First, every mode is part of a larger app. See, the app we were running before had 3 modes. It had a splash screen, a game mode, and it had a help mode. So we have to stitch those together into an app that has those 3 modes. And for that, we call it a modal app. A modal app is also a kind of app, like any other app. In a modal app, when it starts, you create your modes. Remember, each of these 3 are apps. And then you say which of those modes is the active mode, the one that's running right now. And right here, we set the active mode to splash screen mode. That's why the splash screen mode goes first. So the splash screen mode is a mode, which is an app. This is also an app. So when you create a modal app, you create 4 apps in this particular case. You create the app itself that houses the modes. That's the modal app. And then you create each of the modes, which themselves are apps. Cool. So now we can go back up here and we understand a little more what's going on, because inside this mode, we wanted to tell the app when you press a key to set the active mode to the game mode. That's what's going on here, but we have to look a little more closely, because a mode doesn't know how to set an active mode. It's the main app that's going to set its active mode. This is the app. But every single mode has a property, mode.app. Mode.app is the app that created this mode. So down here, when we created a modal app and we created the splash screen mode, when we did that, this splash screen mode has a property of app that refers to this app, the modal app. Cool. So back up here, mode.app is the modal app. Tell the modal app to set the mode to be, well, where did we store game mode? We stored it down here in app.game mode, in the main app's game mode. So we have to go out of the mode into the main app and get its game mode. Cool. In terms of naming things here, you could name this app, but if you did, you'd get this weird app.app. Plus, I think that'd be confusing, even though mode is an app. I think mode is a great name, but you can also do self. I believe, again, that anywhere you can do self, and people would think that that is probably the most usual way. So self.app, and I think that that's perfectly clear as well, and it doesn't change anything. Cool. Okay, so that's the splash screen mode. And the game mode is really like, if you forget this screen and you forget the help mode, the game mode is the game, right? It's in the past, before we knew about modes, this is what you would think of as the game. Okay, so it's got it randomizes dots, which puts dots in random locations. It moves the dot, has a timer fired to move the dot. It keeps track of when you try to press. This is the game. The only thing is, when you press H, it goes ahead and activates the help mode. And then the help mode, unsurprisingly, what does it do? It looks very suspiciously like the splash screen. It just draws your help, and if you press a key, it goes back into your game. Okay. Also, very nice thing that mode does for you, modal app, like it takes care of which timer fire is being called. Okay. And when we're in the help mode, the timer fired for the game mode's not being called. As we saw, when we came back, the red ball was right where it was when we left the game. So this is a helpful set of features that let you have modes pretty easily in your apps.